Let's go down into the fishbowl and see what's in store on your Dallas Cowboys on the Fish Report. Brought to you in part by BetUS. The Cowboys should tank. Guys, what are we doing here? I'm Mike Fisher, your trusty and trusted reporter. This is the Fishbowl. That is the Star. Cowboys at Steelers, Sunday Night Football. And we're fired up for it, but not because it's going to be some wild offensive explosion. The Thursday night game, I heard a lot of commentators, a lot of opinion givers, whether it was on Twitter, where you can find me at Fish Sports. By the way, I'm Mike Fisher. 40 years, NFL beat writer, 35 years covering your Dallas Cowboys as a beat writer, starting in Jerry era. I think even the guys on Prime were saying, what an exciting game. Because a lot of people seem to think that offense is exciting, and only offense is exciting. I have a feeling that if that's what you dig, then you're not going to end up finding Steelers versus Cowboys exciting, if you know what I mean. Neither of these teams are able to run the football in a conventional way. Cowboys' best running back is CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott talking this week about how he's capable of breaking tackles. That's your offense. Dak Prescott is going to go off script and break a tackle so you can finally have an 11-yard gain. Okay. Congratulations. Good luck with that. But even though there are those sort of issues looming, and by the way, I appreciate your comments, your questions, and your criticisms, and I read them all as we go through the weekend here on the Fish Report. Fish at 6 and at cowboyscountry.com. By the way, thanks to BetUS for partnering up with what we do here. I do need to give you an injury report update as well. There are some concerns here. There are some concerns. In fact, let's get that out of the way. I want to do basically 3 things. Injury update. That's 1. 2, tanking. And then 3, we'll get to the big prediction. So, Micah Parsons, you already know he's out. Great job by Adam Schefter when the injury report comes out. And of course, we all get the email. And Adam Schefter writes this, breaking news, Micah Parsons. We know, Adam. Thank you. But there is other breaking news. Trayvon Diggs, Jerry Jones this morning on 105.3 The Fan said, Mr. Fan, and we had a scare, but everything's going to be good. Trayvon Diggs with the ankle is listed as questionable. Questionable usually means the guy plays, but that's not nothing. Kalen Carson, the rookie cornerback, shoulder, questionable, and Maris Leofau suddenly with a quad, he's questionable too. So, and then of course, as you know, Brandon Cooks is out. Those are the highlight guys. You hope that you are only looking at who's going to pick up the slack for Micah, not who's going to pick up the slack for Micah and Diggs and Tank and Leofau as the Cowboys on defense go limping in to Pittsburgh. Guys, BetUS, we're proud of our partnership with those good folks. YouTube 150 is how you get in, get on, and be good there. Thanks again to BetUS for the support of the show. Don't forget to head on over to BetUS and at BetUS.com and use the promo code YouTube150 for a lovely 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. Thank you, BetUS. By the way, 150 bonus on the first deposit, 125% bonus on the second and third deposits, 150% bonus. Let's go. Thanks, BetUS. So there's your injury concerns. Now let's get to tanking. And I know it can get a little irksome when we focus too much, and I admit it does irritate me, and so it does come up in the way I'm thinking about the Cowboys every day. I'm mostly interested, as we established with the Devontae Adams situation earlier this week, the fake trade rumor. I'm mostly concerned with what I know and think, because I'd rather go down with my ship than go down with the Athletic ship or Yahoo ship or ESPN ship, especially ESPN ship. Cowboys are 2-2, and ESPN's Chris Canty, friend of the show, so it's nothing personal about what I'm about to say here. Chris Canty actually went on national TV this week and said because the Cowboys are 2-2 and they don't look like they're going to be good enough, they should tank. Diddly dink. Do what now? They should quit? They should stop. They should not try. At 2-2. Now, I've seen some of you, 72,000 fish heads in Cowboy Nation. I've seen a few of you suggest the same thing. In fact, some of you were suggesting it in July. And we all had a good laugh over it. That's the barroom brawl part of this. That's the barroom. You get caught up emotionally in what's not happening. But who am I to tell Chris Canty what to do? I don't think an analyst at ESPN, I don't think it's appropriate for him to get caught up emotionally. So what other explanation is there? Oh, well, yeah, there is being a shock jock. Chris Canty's a shock jock? Say it ain't so. Give up now. You're 2-2. It's over. Tank. It doesn't take a great deal of genius analysis to demonstrate, and I don't mean to put too blunt a point on it, what a truly foolish suggestion this is. What football slapdickery this is. The NFL schedule, all 32 teams get their first 4 games. 4. That's how many going into this week that they've played. The Cowboys 4 puts them in a tie for second in the division with the Eagles at 2-2. They are behind Washington. An impressive start that I wouldn't even say is that surprising, frankly. It's been impressive. And Jaden Daniels is doing all the things that they thought he could do. And so is Dan Quinn. Cowboys are 1-0 in the division. So are the Commanders. They got that win over the Giants. More on the win over the Giants and the back against the wall approach in Pittsburgh in a moment. Is Washington going to run away with this? As we sit here now, you can't predict that. Are they going to run away with it to the point that Philadelphia and Dallas are both not only not going to win the division, which is possible, but I mean they're going to just be awful. They'll be way behind Washington. I'll take that bet. That's not a good bet as we sit here today. In the conference, only one 2023 playoff team has a record of 3-1 or better. In other words, the teams that we knew were good, thought were good, only one of them is good. So why do you fold? You don't have Micah. You don't have Tank. You don't have Brandon Cooks. We just went through the injury report. There are parts of this that look grim. The upcoming stretch looks challenging. But here's what's weird about Canty. McCarthy was talking about this week here inside the Star. About, well, yeah, that guy's hurt. Those are opportunities. And that's how every competitive person I've ever heard, especially on a professional level, looks at it. Well, we're missing 3 guys, but that's an opportunity for 3 other guys. It's weird to me that Chris Canty isn't seeing that. I'm just stunned, unless he's shock jocking here, that any smart football man would advocate that this team, and by the way, not just this team, I'm not being, Cowboy centric. I'm not protecting the This is almost any team. It's the first week in October. Nobody tanks. The level of competition coming up, well, here come Steelers, this week. They're favored by 2.5. Steelers, Lions, 49ers, Falcons, Eagles, all in the span of a month and change. That's the gauntlet. Steelers on the road, Lions revenge, 49ers always beat you, Falcons are suddenly good, Eagles, Cowboys. That could tilt the momentum. Right now, things seem a little grim, but you're 2-2. Those 5 games, that could be, that would be a total of 9 games. You won't be 500 then unless you have a tie in there. So the momentum will be tilted somehow. The burden of blow it up, remodel, and we've talked about this a lot because we basically created the concept and discovered that that's what the Cowboys were doing. The burden of blow it up, remodel simply becomes too much if you lose. It'll be revealed that the burden was too much and the burden will increase. You lose to the Steelers and you lose to the Lions and you lose to the 49ers. And on November 3rd, you lose to the Falcons. In this doomsday scenario, NFL trade line is November 5th. So you play on Sunday the 3rd. Trade deadline is Tuesday. Doomsday scenario. Trade deadline in 48 hours. Face of a team with a lame duck coach. By the way, if you are 2-6 at that time, again, now we're talking about having, is that right? You're 2-2. Yeah, you would lose in this scenario, you would lose 4 more, right? You would lose Pittsburgh, Lions, San Francisco, Falcons. So you'd be 2-6, I think. Okay. Now ownership looks at this thing and says, we've lost 4 in a row. And now you start to wonder, is it embarrassing? Yes. Does it look really bad in the standings? Yes. Has the coach lost the team? If you've lost 4 straight games and it's lame duck, blow it up, the coach has probably lost the team. So now you're looking at a firing of the coach. Then and only then do you consider all these things. You're 2-6 at the trade deadline. And then not only can you start thinking about this is another term I invented. I'm so genius. Organic tanking, which means you give enough effort. You play the kids. You don't throw games. You organically tank. The Cowboys did this, and it's how they got Zeke. They didn't throw games. They just tried a little less harder in terms of playing their best guys. That's how they ended up with the 4th overall pick. It happened. I was there, wrote about it at the time. Nobody argued with me when I said it. They knew. Not even tanking, organic tanking, just kind of happens. That's tanking when it's mid-season, though, and hope is lost. That becomes a valid sports option. The difference between drafting 17th and 10th or whatever. But giving up a foot race when you just got out of the starting gate because you don't feel as good about your start as you did in the last 3 years. And while you're out of the starting gate and you're not even 1 lap through the 4 laps and you look next to you and all the other guys are running right alongside you, why would you quit? You're running right alongside all the other guys. And the race just started. If you do it that way, if you look at it that way, that would mean that as we entered week 5, with only 9 teams who have a record better than 2-2, there's only 9 winning teams in the whole league. That means, again, I'm not very good at math. All the other teams should tank. Right? 23. That means 23 teams should tank because they don't have winning records. So give up now. Wouldn't it be, here's what bothers me, and this is that America's team phenomenon, and get them in the headline and ride their coattails. Why isn't anybody saying the Eagles should tank? Right now, among the teams that are 2-2, Bucks, should they tank? They entered the weekend 2-2, right? They're 3-2. Now they're 3-2. So let's get them out of there. Saints, 49ers, Eagles, Jets, Ravens. They're all 2-2. So the Saints, 49ers, Eagles, Jets, and Ravens should tank? You saw the Jets play. They're 2-2. You saw the Saints play. They're 2-2. They should tank? You're scared spitless of the 49ers. They're 2-2. And all their players are hurt. Should they tank in the first week in October? Obviously, now would be a great time for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys to rise to the occasion. They swear they will. This would be the time. But at 2-2, 2-3, we're gonna have a different conversation on Sunday night or Monday. But at 2-2, you don't call off the season. You still control your own playoff destiny to some degree at 2-2. You don't even think about it. You don't even talk about it unless you're just shock jocking. And item 3, I am not picking the Cowboys this week. And here's why. I do believe that when they are still in it and back against the wall, they'll respond. That was last week against the Giants. Back against the wall, and we don't want to be 1-3. And man, oh man, if we lose to the Giants, it's embarrassing. And we got muscle memory that says we're better than they are. And the Cowboys are better than the Giants, and it's not even close. It's not the same this week. Being 2-3 after losing a road game to a team that gives up 13 points a game. I mean, it horrible, but in their minds, I'm guessing that would not mark the end of the year. Had they lost to the Giants, we got real problems. You can lose to the Saints. The Steelers. You play hard, play well, lose to the Steelers, and come home and go, we're getting there. You couldn't have done that with the Giants. You can do that here. So I don't think this team's back is against the wall. And I don't think they'll respond as if it is. Steelers in a weird equation. 18, Cowboys 17. Disagree with what we just said about the Cowboys or tanking or the Steelers? That's fine. Let's see your comments below. And we'll have a good barroom, classroom debate about it. Thank you, BetUS. And again, out of the fishbowl.